This story is predominantly going to be about me, Bianca, Jessica, and Katrina. There came a point in time where it was this boy named Ace, right? So Ace and Jessica used to play as brother and sister. Once upon a time, Ace was flirting and trying to talk to me, and that is how I ended up even meeting Jessica in the first place, because that was his sister. Me, Katrina, and our little side group of friends used to sit with each other at lunch all the time, right? There was this one girl that used to sit with us that revealed that her and Ace actually had a thing going on, and apparently they were somewhat flirting or something of that nature as well. So once I had peeped what I peeped, I pretty much backed up, fell back. Me and Ace were just, we dogs, you feel me? We cool, and it's just gonna be that. But the gag of it all, the plot twist of it all, Bianca and Ace had actually been dating since the summer before we started freshman year. So long story short, Ace is just not a good guy. Her and her friends started to get into it because her friends were trying to warn her about Ace being a player, but she was just a my man type of girl. She wasn't really going for that. She was just like, no, I want to stay with my man because this is just him and I forgive him, da 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 da. Somehow these girls were offended by that, so they resorted to telling her business, trying to fight her, and essentially were bullying her. But she kept going back to these people. Like, she kept sitting at the same table with them at lunch. She kept trying to still like reach out and talk to them and stuff like that. But the more that she would try to get cool with them and get close to them, the more intense a lot of their antics would get. Like I said, they started telling her business the first time, but it got to a point to where it was some significant pieces of stories that were being told where it was like, oh, what was said was insinuating that she will do anything up under the sun to keep a man. This situation technically would be foreshadowing for the future. I'ma just say that. So as I'm noticing that all of this stuff is going on, and essentially this girl is getting ostracized, this girl is getting bullied, I wouldn't say that I took her under my wing, but I did start to notice that, you know, we did start to talk a little bit more than what we initially did before she was falling out with her friends. So technically this would be around a time where me and her would start to get close. This was around a time where I was also dating Tyler, and this was the first time that I had noticed that her and Tyler kind of was like cool with each other, but they weren't close. So once sophomore year had kicked around, Bianca's situation with her old friend group kind of got bad. They pretty much had successfully ostracized that girl, and I did start to notice that there were people in our school that started to, you know, whisper about some of the things that were being said about her. So again, I wouldn't say that I took her under my wing, but I did start to voluntarily go and talk to her a little bit more. And when I went over to go and talk to her more, that's when some of my other friends would go over and talk to her a little bit more as well. So as time would go on, we would develop into a really good friendship to the point where me, her, and Jessica were like the three musketeers. As time would go on, Bianca started acting real weird. Real weird, and that's the best way I can describe it. So it's not abnormal that me and my friends, we crack jokes at each other. To a degree, we take jabs at each other, you know, like, oh, your forehead big, oh, your car raggedy, whatever, da 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 da. That's just how we set up, right? But it was always just something about Bianca that always rubbed me the wrong way with some of the things that she would say. Because I will say, she never only did it to me, she also did it to other friends of ours. But I will honest to God say that it did feel as though I was always the punchline of the joke, and I didn't understand why. There were certain moments where we both would look at each other, like me and Jessica would look at each other like, was that shade? Was that girl trying to be funny? Was she doing the most? Jessica is one of those people where she's non-confrontational, so she doesn't really feel the need to defend herself, and in certain situations she doesn't feel the need to defend her friends. There was this thing that Bianca would do where I'll talk and Bianca would be quick to respond,
oh, I forgot you was here.
Okay, I was a little bit more motivated to try new things, so I started to kind of like get ready to dip my toes in the water. I went to my trusty friends and was expecting for them to, you know, give me some words of encouragement or inspire me or push me to do better. And I was met with criticism. I was met with them laughing in my face and saying things like,
could you imagine her trying to be a cheerleader? Could you imagine her on a dance team? Like, I would be bawling my eyes out. Like, I just cannot see her doing that. She looks so awkward.
None of them really encouraged me. None of them really wanted to see me do better and achieve better and be more confident. It just felt like they wanted to keep me in a box so that they could feel better about themselves. They didn't want me to gain any confidence, to be anything more than just the girl that's always in the books. Like, they didn't want me to do anything. It didn't seem like they really wanted me to be there. After a while, it didn't feel like they even wanted me to be their friend. Majority of the time, it would be Bianca that would do it, you know? But they all had their turns. They all had their ways about it where, let's humble Tasi today. Let's make Tasi feel bad about herself today. I start to notice that him and Bianca are starting to get very close with each other. And again, I peeped it, but didn't really take it personally, didn't really think that it was a big deal, didn't really think too much of it, right? I would come to the conclusion that these two were dating, very much together, very much so. This bitch skipped school to go fuck my ex. So I kept it to myself. I definitely did that. But what made it really sting, what made it worse, right? She began to lie, like purposely scheme and lie and hide the fact that she was dating him. That goes to show that she knows that you ain't supposed to be dating this man. What made it worse was that a lot of my friends were helping her lie to me. Y'all all know that this is wrong. Y'all all know that this is trifling. And y'all are helping her. Y'all are keeping her little secret. What is up with people's loyalty when it pertains to me? Like, what is it about me where people feel like they don't have to respect me?
Love yours. No such thing. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the story time, and welcome to part 2. I'm gonna let you guys know ahead of time. This part, you're gonna find out some crazy things, okay? We're gonna be addressing a lot of stuff that I did not address before. Reason being is because, you know, the first time that Bianca was being brought up, you know, it was a one-off thing. Like, okay, it's this girl, she did something weird, she did something petty, whatever. We are now getting into the meat and potatoes of just how weird this girl was behaving, and we're going to talk about the infamous night of prom. So I'm not going to hold you guys any longer because I know you just want to get straight into the story. So with that being said, let's get straight into this video. So anyways, as their little relationship or whatever was going on, I started to notice that Bianca was way more aggressive with her behavior towards me. And I didn't fully understand why, because again, I'm fully aware that y'all are dating even though you're trying to hide it. But you know, in my brain, I'm just thinking like, okay, like, you got the dude, you feel me? Like, we not together no more, so you can't call yourself trying to be in competition with me. Like, I can't see that happening if you already dating, bro. Like, why would you have any animosity towards me? You feel me? But I kid you not, like, it just seemed like her what I call weird behavior, like, it just got worse. And it definitely got to a point to where it felt like she was comparing us between each other, and I was just thoroughly lost as to why she was doing that. I know it seems a little early for a bonnet segment, because it is. But remember, I had said that originally this was just going to be one long video, but then I ended up breaking it up into 2. So bear with me, okay? So, like I had said, once her and Tyler started dating each other, it just seemed like her aggression towards me got worse. And I started to notice that she would try to, like, compare us between the two. It was just like, it was some real weird behavior, weirder than what it usually was. So the way that she would compare between the both of us, it was, again, always kind of like fake little jabs, because that's what she would do initially anyways. But also keep in mind, she's still trying to keep it under wraps that she's dating this man. But I just find it funny that, like, it would be situations where I'm not even talking about him, I'm just talking about me, and she would always find a way to try to, like, compare our situations or compare us to each other, and I could always tell that it was coming from a place of him. You know, like she was comparing us in a way where it's like she was trying to prove that she was the better girlfriend or something like that. So when I think of comparisons, the best, most straightforward example that I can give you. So there was a point in time, this was junior year, when I had got my job and I was keeping my hair done and stuff like that. I was also going shopping a little bit, you know? So mind you, I wasn't like cashing out. I wasn't like getting no designer clothes or nothing like that. Like I was real life going to Rainbows still. Like I'm going to Rainbows. I'm getting stuff off of literally wish.com. Ain't no shame in my game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really over here just, like, getting everything on a budget. But there was this one time where we had an out of uniform day. And this was around the time where they had made the out of uniform days free. Because me being me, I did not feel comfortable paying $2 to wear my clothes. Like, what? But they started doing free out of uniform days. And for some reason, junior year, I actually was going places. I was doing a lot. I guess because I had money, I was just doing stuff. But yeah, so I used to get dressed up when we would have the free days, right? And I was wearing literally this blue romper, just a simple blue romper. And I guess this was around the time where I had gained a little bit of weight. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like I was like, you know, it wasn't a bodycon romper. It quite literally was like, I would have to find an example of what it kind of sort of looked like. But it was literally just a simple romper. But the fact of the matter is that, like, I had never really dressed out of uniform. I had never really put that shit on because I'm not paying $2. Like, I'm not paying $2. I always thought that was stupid. So when I was wearing this romper, I got a lot of compliments. Like, a lot of people was just telling me, like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you're cute. Oh, look at you with your legs out. You better kill it. Whatever. And I guess she just didn't like the fact that people were complimenting me. I guess she just didn't like the fact that I was getting so much attention. But I guess this was the one moment where she was fully aware that, like, if she said something, she would look like a hater. So she gave me a backhand compliment, and she was basically like, oh, you know you wrong for wearing that. You know you wrong for that. You know you doing too much. Oh, you moving too fast. Joking. Because again, that's how me and my friends play. That's how me and my friends joke. Okay, it's a joke. All right, cool. But then she goes out of her way to say, yeah, because if I would have worn that, my butt would have been hanging out and y'all would have had something to say.
What?
But then not only that, it's the simple fact of the matter that, like, even when I was thinner, because I already showed y'all a few of my throwback pictures. So I was, like, smaller back then. I didn't know that back then, which I'm very upset about. But I was smaller back then. But even then, the way I've been built, I've always had big thighs. My hips have always been wide. They got wider. But I've always been, you know, built a certain way. So, sweetie, it's not that she didn't have a little bit of a booty, but the way that she tried to make it seem like, oh, my ass is just so big, it would just hang out. Never that. Never that. You quite literally would have to have forced your ass to hang out, or you would have had a saggy ass booty in order for your ass to be hanging out of those shorts. You tried it. You really tried it. And when I tell you, this was a consistent thing. It was so aggressive when they were together, but I swear once they had stopped dealing with each other, this girl ain't know what to do with herself. So it just kept going. But it started around this time. Like, something really wrong with that girl. So at some point, I just got tired of it. At some point, I was irritated, and I'm just like, you know what? You ain't never got to worry about me no more. And I pretty much cut her off. And the thing is that when I cut people off, I don't even announce it. I don't even talk to them about it. I'm better with that now that I'm an adult. But when I'm done, I just leave. I just go. Because, like, who got time to be, who got time to be doing all that? So I cut her off, literally. So for the rest of the year, I cut her off. And as y'all know, that relationship that they had between each other did not last whatsoever. It did not make it past 3 months. And even then, within the 3 months that they was dealing with each other or whatever they had going on, that man was very much dating other women, very much still in my inbox and on my statuses. Like, he wasn't much to brag about either. So they eventually stopped dealing with each other. We go on summer vacation. We come back from summer vacation, and I started to notice that Bianca is acting really nice.
In Atlanta tomorrow. Yes. Hey. Hey, who is that? Don't we know each other?
And And I'm kind of sitting there side-eyeing it like, that's kind of odd. That's kind of weird, but okay. And I started to notice that, like, ever since I had, like, left her alone and cut her off, she started really trying to get closer to me, and she started really trying to appeal to me, right? There even came a point in time where, like, mind you, this is junior year. We're in junior year now. So in junior year, we had this computer class. It was interactive media. She makes it a point to get a computer right next to me. I'm not no bully, so I'm not gonna tell her, oh no, you gotta get up, whatever, whoop-de-woo. But I'm peeping that, like, this girl is really trying to be around me a lot. She's really trying to appeal to me a lot. And again, when I cut people off, I just cut them off and I move on. I was never beefing with this girl. I never called her out her name. I never was, dogging her out, doing anything to her. I was chilling. I was cool. But I'm very much confused as to why she is just, like, being overly nice to me, because this ain't even you as an individual person. This ain't even within your character. It was like she had got cloned and they just dropped her off at school, because I'm like, who is this? What is she doing? So eventually I kind of just took it as like, you know what, because again, young and dumb. Don't do what I did. Because I don't know how many teenagers watch my page. Listen to me. Do not do what I did. Do not do what I did at all. So my logic at the time, I kind of chopped it up to maybe what I initially was experiencing from her was just her behavior as a whole. That was just how she behaves, and I'm the one that took it too deep to heart. I'm the one that was doing the most. And to be honest, when we were friends, we did have fun. Like, we had some laughs, we had some inside jokes, we was cool or whatever. So low-key, I do miss having her as a friend. If I can be completely honest, I miss having her as a friend. But not only that, I could tell this man broke your heart.
And
He broke your heart, didn't he? He betrayed you. You thought he was a different man than how he presented himself to be when the time came. Yeah. Sounds familiar. Like, it was basically just like, okay, so now we both have an understanding. This man ain't worth us, fighting over each other. This man is not worth us being in fake competition with each other. This man ain't worth a damn. Let's move on, friend. Let's just move on. That was my mindset. And again, where I messed up at was that we never really sat down and talked about it. But in all fairness, I was in a different stage of my life. And this time I actually did try to talk about the situation. I did try to talk about the elephant in the room, but she just never wanted to really talk about it. Like, she would be actively trying to deflect and shut the conversation down and changing the subject. And, I kind of just was under the impression, like, maybe it's not that important to talk about. Maybe we can just move on without even acting like this man even existed. I don't know, like, maybe we can just do that. So that's kind of sort of what we did, but that would also be a short-lived experience, because this time Bianca was meaner. She was way meaner, and this time I wasn't the only victim. I was not the only victim. She started to be disgusting towards the rest of our friends, and it was bad, okay? So this would be around the time where Apple decided to drop like a bunch of phones. So it was like the 5, the 5S, the 5C, the 6, the 6S, the 6S Plus, all that. Like, that's when Apple started doing that, right? So because me and all of my friends, we work summer jobs or whatever, we were talking about saving up our money so that we could upgrade our phones. Keep in mind that Katrina was the only one that has had an iPhone since iPhones came out. The rest of us, we had like Androids, we had like Samsungs and stuff of that nature. So we all were talking about upgrading to an iPhone because that was just, I don't know, like the year of the iPhone. Like, everybody had an iPhone. I don't know why. But yeah, so we predominantly were talking about getting it for Christmas because we all were like consistently saving up. Now, for me, I ended up never getting my iPhone. I just want to say that from the very beginning. I did not really get my stuff together until like way later on in life. I feel like I touched on that before, but we might need to do a story time about that as well. I don't know. But either way it go, right? We were all sitting up talking about which phones we were going to buy. And while we were in our computer class, we would go on the internet and look at like the different phone deals depending on like what phone store was selling them and what the bills were looking like. Like, we would estimate our bills together and everything, right? I remember clear as day, and I'm talking about clear as day, as if I just heard it yesterday. Bianca was the main one that was saying the whole rhetoric of like,
oh my God, people are so brainwashed. At the end of the day, it is just a phone. You should not have to spend close to $1,000 on a phone, because at the end of the day, all you really need to do is get in contact with people and text people. It is not that hard. It is not that serious. I feel like people that are obsessed with Apple products are just doing entirely too much. It's almost like a cult. Like, I'm actually almost scared for y'all.
swear to God, that was her. Swear to God, that was her. That was her mentality with damn near everything that somebody else would do, right? So Christmas break happens. We all come back from Christmas break. And again, situations on my end happened, so I wasn't able to get my phone, even though I very much had the money to get my phone. But we come back, and Katrina, she has a new phone, and I believe hers was like a 6. And then Jessica had like, I think a 5. I think she had a 5S. I think it was the gold one, I think. Tell me why. We are in English class. I told you, I remember this so clear. We're in English. That is the second bell that we had. We go to English class, and this girl legit pulls her phone out and drops it on this girl's desk. No bullshit. Picks it up, drops it on the desk, and walks away on some pimp shit, on some thug shit. Walks away and just sits back with a smirk on her face. This bitch got the 6S Plus. Now, mind you, this is some petty shit. It's petty because at the end of the day, it's like, girl, like you feel some type of way because the girl got a phone, but no, it's the principle behind the fact that we were the brainwashed, obsessed ass bitches that were materialistic until you got the product. And that happened more than once. Like, I'm just giving you one example of this bitch doing this. But she had a tendency of doing this a lot. Like, even with the makeup situation that I gave y'all in the last installment, same thing with that. You hate a bitch that wear too much makeup. You hate a bitch that feel like she gotta wear makeup, she gotta wear lashes, she gotta do this, she gotta do that. But then when I talk about wearing makeup, now all of a sudden you've been watching makeup tutorials so you can clock, oh, you should have did this, you should have did that, blah, 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 blah. Girl, what? But then not only that, me knowing this girl, right? Me knowing this girl, you knew that I was going to get a 6. You knew that Katrina was about to get a 6 or a 6S. You knew that Jessica was going to get a 5S. You knew what phones we were getting, and you sat back and you watched what particular phones we were getting and purposely went out to go get the more expensive one so that you could be able to say that you had the more expensive one. I'm telling you, it's petty, but this is her. Like, this is really how she used to be. This is how she used to act. I swear to God. So then the one that I think was really like what made people really wake up and realize like, ooh, she kind of got a nasty attitude and she kind of like just bad vibes. Like I had said before, Jessica is a go-getter. If I can say anything about that girl knows how to get what she wants. Like, she works hard for every single thing that she has ever had and currently has in her life, and I will 100% give that to her. She got her license as soon as she turned 16, and shortly after she got her license, she had bought her first car. Now, mind you, we are 16 years old. The car ain't supposed to be no spick and span, fresh off the lot, brand new, up-to-date car. And I'm not gonna lie, her first car, yeah, it was one of them cars where like I think one of the doors was stuck or something like that, and I think she I think like the inside of the roof, she had to staple it so that the thing wouldn't fall down. But nonetheless, right, it was a car that ran. It was a car that she paid for solely, that she paid for with her money. It got her where she needed to go, point A to point B. She paid her tags. She put the gas in her car. She took care of all of that. All of it was hers. And at the end of the day, because we all friends with each other, you know, we squad, we gang. When she was out, bitch, we was out. So when senior year came, I ain't gonna lie, senior year was the year where I was skipping class because my credits were completely done, and for some reason our school didn't let you not, you know, like regular schools, they'll let you come in and just do the classes that you need the credits for, and then you can just leave. But no, our school told us that we had to be there all the way until the final day for whatever reason. So I ain't gonna lie, senior year, a bitch started skipping class because I don't need to be here. Our teachers stopped even giving us work. So yeah, if my friend called me, the bitch with the car calls us and say, hey, y'all want to go here? Y'all want to smoke? Bitch, what? We was out. And we all were just happy to be there. We were happy for her accomplishment, and we were just happy that we had our little shit going on. You feel me? But leave it to Bianca. Leave it to Bianca. Here she come with the jokes. Now it's jokes about how she got a lemon. Now it's jokes about how you can hear her car from halfway down the street, which you very much could not. It wasn't even like that. Now she's talking about how the doors are mismatched. Now she's talking about how the color of the car is ugly. Like, now she has all these negative things to say, and it's like, baby, where the fuck is your car? What? And like I told you before, the way that Katrina is set up, Katrina comes from a family where they don't really have to worry about money for real. Like, I wouldn't say that Katrina was rich, but she was 100% more well off than all of us, okay? Katrina didn't even have a car. Katrina was still a bus catching ass bitch, okay? But even with that, I don't think that anybody should behave that way, but I would expect that behavior and that rhetoric from somebody like Katrina, because Katrina ain't never had to get it out the mud or come from the trenches with anything. Katrina was just happy to be there. Katrina was just, we in a car, we out this bitch, we having fun. Bianca, for some reason, you getting beside yourself completely. And the thing about Bianca is that, like, I ain't gonna tell too much of her business, and I don't want people from her neck of the woods feeling offended by anything that I'm saying, but understand that, like, Bianca came from one of the hoods of Cincinnati that people just don't go to on purpose. Like, baby, anytime we had to link up with you, we linked up with you somewhere. We never came to your house. Like, we never came to your house. Like, you really don't have room to be talking about anything elitist, classist, materialistic. You have no room. You quite literally have no room to feel confident and comfortable speaking on people the way that you're speaking on people right now. Because, again, where's your car? Like, that girl, entirely too much dip on her chip. But again, did anybody say anything? No. Did anybody check her? No. Just let her be weird. Let her do whatever she wanted to do, right? Because we non-confrontational, right? Okay. Now, on the topic of me though, the problem that I started to have with her is that, mind you, I'm single, big single, okay? I started to, have a wandering eye a little bit, but me being me, I don't really take that many men seriously. I don't just jump into relationships like that. So there was a point in time where, was that the first new student or the second one? I had peeped him and I thought he was cute. I had mentioned to her that I thought he was cute, and she was quick to say,
Girl, you know you ain't gonna talk to him.
Well, for starters, I usually don't talk to men, they talk to me. So that's for starters, poo butt. Second of all, I just said he was cute. That was it. I just said he was cute. Never said I was gonna marry that man tomorrow. I just said he was cute. And like I said, I don't have a physical type. I'm more of a personality person. Once I found out this man was dumb, completely, utterly dumb, the streets can have you. You can't do anything for me. And I'm talking about just nothing up here. Nothing at all. I don't even know how he graduated. I don't even know how he made it that far. But baby, and again, she would act weird. Okay? So the weird thing that she did this time around was that the next thing I know, she becomes really close with him.
Funny. Yes, but not funny, haha. Funny, weird.
Now, mind you, at this time, she's allegedly in a new relationship. So I thought that was odd that, that was kind of happening. But they wouldn't get very far. They never ended up dating each other or being in a relationship. So, it is what it is. But I'm still kind of like, noted. So then we would get a second new student, and this girl would say the same rhetoric again about how,
Girl, you know you ain't gonna talk to him. You always acting like that, but then you never want to talk to the dudes and da-da-da-da-da.
Again, I get approached. I don't really have to get up out my seat and introduce myself. Sorry, But not only that, I find it weird that this is like the second or third time that you done did this, because did you not just slob on my leftovers? Like, because mind you, this is the thing, they had dated and broke up or had their little situation and stopped dealing with each other, right? But she kept making herself come around, similar to what she did with her original friend group. Y'all don't have anything between y'all, but you keep coming around him and breaking your neck to be around his friends, right? It has even gotten to the point to where some of his friends got stories about you. But again, I'm not going to repeat that because I don't know how much of that is true or how much of it is made up. I don't know. But I can honest to God say, with the things that the friends had said, matching with how I know her as a person, matching with the fact that now his friends have stories about you, and that's allegedly the reason why they stopped dealing with each other. Not far-fetched, but because I'm a nice person, I'm still not going to repeat it. I'm still not going to say your business like that, because I'm just not set up like that. But it was weird. It was just really weird. It was really awkward. I'm like, okay, so you have a man, but you still talk to my ex, but you also have something going on with one of his friends, but then you also keep talking about the people that I'm interested in. I'm confused. Like, I'm very confused. Like, it just don't make sense. It does not compute. And what really piqued my attention, which made me realize that she's, moving weird or acting funny at this point, I'm not going to specify too much information because I feel like he might be purposely, out the way or like off the internet. I don't want to disrespect that. I don't want to disregard that. And it might be some legal stuff going on. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. So that's the only reason why I'm being very selective about what I'm going to tell y'all about this man, because I really don't want to get that man in trouble, and I don't want to like bring him any drama to his life or whatever. But let's just say there was this guy from Tumblr, and he was Tumblr famous. He was one of those guys where you have probably read a fan fiction and his face was the cover. He is one of those guys where plenty of people have catfished as him, or they have used him to like try to scam girls out of money, saying, hey, I need a sugar daddy, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. He is definitely a recognizable name and a recognizable face. Let's just say that. And I had known this dude since I was probably like literally 11 or 12. I had discovered him before I even came to high school, right? We followed each other on Tumblr. I was there during like the peak of his fame or the peak of his clout or whatever, and we chatted it up on Tumblr. Now the thing about Tumblr is that I would say that Tumblr was probably the most social media app that was out at that time. So a lot of users on Tumblr, we were pretty much like the outcast of a lot of people, because not everybody had a Tumblr, not everybody used Tumblr, not everybody knew what Tumblr was. They just knew like, oh, that's where you get the pictures and stuff like that, but nobody really was in Tumblr unless you were in Tumblr. It was like a fake exclusive club, low-key. So me and him used to chat from time to time, but I'm not gonna over exaggerate. He chats to everybody. Like, if you send him a message, he's going to respond, you know what I'm saying? But we chatted it up a little bit, and before I even dated Tyler, we were chatting, and I had pictures of this man in my phone on some, but either way it goes, I had like somewhat of a crush on him, so I had pictures of him in my phone. And again, Tumblr was just a place within itself, so a lot of the pictures that I had in my phone, they were pictures that he exclusively uploaded to Tumblr and not to Instagram or Twitter. Now I remember repeatedly telling my friends, like, listen, we don't know each other that personally, like we talk from time to time, but we not really like like this, like we ain't in cahoots with each other, you feel me? We're not in a relationship, but I do think he's fine. I do think he's cute. He knows me. That's pretty much what it is. So let me live in my delusion. You feel me? Like, cause he lived in, I can't tell y'all that either, but he lived on the East Coast. Let's just say that. He lived on the East Coast. I live in Ohio. I'm a child. He is a child. That ain't gonna work out. You feel me? Like, it's just not gonna work. But either way it goes, my friends used to tease me about it all the time, saying that like, this my little, boyfriend, I know him, and we gonna pop out one day without telling nobody, and this, that, and the third. So it was heavily believed that, to an extent, to a degree, I'm messing with this guy from Tumblr, right? So there comes a point in time where Bianca comes up to me and she tells me that she made a Tumblr. And I'm all like, oh, okay, cool, because I'm about to, follow her and add her. And she says,
yeah, I made a Tumblr so that I could talk to him.
Him as in the guy from Tumblr that I'm allegedly talking to. Huh. So then she tells me that she sent him a message and she had mentioned my name. And the guy never got back to her. And I'm like, okay. Now, here's the thing, right? Because logically speaking, like I had said, this is a man who is already famous on the internet. This is a man whose face is recognizable. To a degree, his name is recognizable. Like, all the little fun fact information about him, you can piece it together and you can know who I'm talking about. So I don't want to sit here and only use that as ammunition to be like, oh, this bitch is weird, let me cut her off, you know? Because there was a logical part of me where I'm like, this, to a degree, to an extent, does not warrant completely cutting her off, you know? Because realistically, what makes her any different than anybody else that would have made a Tumblr page just so they could talk to this man? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. But there was still a part of me where, again, it was my gut. My gut was telling me something about this girl is not right. But I decided, let me test a real life experiment, an everyday me and you type of experiment. Okay, so we ended up getting another new student, right? This one wasn't really new. I think he had just got transferred over to our class, or like he was a previous student and then came back, I forget. But either way it go, right? We end up getting another new student, and this person was a new student for at least a month and a half, at least. So plenty of time for him to interact with Bianca to interact with him, right? Plenty of time for us to find common ground, become little besties, or whatever the case may be. Correct? Okay. So I decide I'm going to pretend like I have a crush on this man, because I just want to see what happens. So that's exactly what I do. I pretend like I think he's so cute, I think he's nice, I want to talk to him, this, that, and the third, yada, 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 right? So as I'm doing this, of course, we get the classic talk about how apparently I'm too scared to talk to men and I'll never get a chance to talk to him and XYZ, you know, the whole nine, right? Give it like a week. Guess who got a new friend?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So that did it for me. That did it for me. I cut her off again. And did. And again, did I talk about it? No. I just took my notes. Took my mental notes, shucked the deuces up, and I left. Because I'm like, baby, there's something up with you. It's something bad in your spirit. I don't know what it is, but you need to talk to God. Because why? Like, what's going on? It does not compute. It does not make sense. I don't like the fact that you behave that way. I don't like the fact that you maneuver that way. You need help. Because that within itself just confirmed exactly what I was thinking. You, for some odd reason, want to date the men that I find attractive. And it's weird. It's very weird. It's very, 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 very weird. And just like before, when I distance myself from her, it seems like that's when she starts to sink her claws into me more. She again flipped like a light switch. Now she's so nice. Now she's just talking my head off. Now she wants to be all up in my face and oh, your hair is so pretty. I love your outfit. Oh, your tag is hanging out. Let me fix it for you, friend. Like, where was this friend when we were actually friends? But now that I'm keeping my distance from you, now you have all the time in the world to be a good person. What is that about? There even came a point in time where now it's my birthday, right? And I had planned for all of my friends to link up at, Buffalo Wild Wings by my house. And that was basically going to be my birthday dinner. That within itself was a disaster. Low-key, don't even want to talk about it. Low-key. But that was also an indication that some of my friends were not actually my friends, okay? Some of them, again, does not relate to you if you know it don't relate to you. But yeah, that situation, I'm sitting there like, wow, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that is genuinely so crazy that this is how people behave. So either way it go, right? I have a little get together, a little fake birthday dinner at Buffalo Wild Wings. And the next day I come to school, and me and Sierra and another one of our friends, they're talking about, you know, the dinner itself. So the friend that did show up, we're talking about it, talking about the situation. This is what happened. That's what happened. Blah, 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 blah. And then the other friend, Sierra, she ends up saying, yeah, I couldn't make it because I told my mom after I leave my job orientation that I had to go here and blah, 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 blah. But she was acting like she didn't feel like driving. I tried to make it out there, but I couldn't, whatever, whoop-de-woo, right? So we three are talking about the party. We're talking about the dinner party. We're talking about whatever. So we're talking about it in front of Bianca. Newsflash, in case you didn't know, Bianca was not invited, because why would I want her there? You know what I'm saying? So we're having this conversation pretty much in front of her. That was not intentional though. I swear I was not being petty. It's just we all kind of like sat in the same area, but we're all having this conversation in front of her. And she's just on the sideline like,
What party? What party? What dinner? When y'all go to B-Dubs? When that happened? When that happened?
like she's just so curious, right? And I'm deliberately ignoring what this girl is talking about. I'm deliberately ignoring everything that she's saying, because it's just like, girl, I don't vibe with you no more. Like you know this. You know this. If anybody else knows, you know I don't vibe with you no more. We don't talk. We don't mess with each other. It just is what it is, right? So she keeps asking and I keep ignoring, and they keep talking, because again, like we having our own little conversation. You feel me? So as I'm walking away, because the bell rung, it's time for us to transition to another class. As I'm leaving, she still is asking,
What party? What party?
so then I think Sierra was the one that ended up telling her, or maybe it was our other friend, but Sierra ended up telling her like, oh yeah, it was you know, the party at BW3's, like, wasn't you invited? Do you know that this bitch sat here and said,
See, I would have went, but I was on punishment.
baby, you weren't invited. You didn't find out until just now. Why did you just lie like that? Why did you just lie to these people like that? Like, that was so, oh my God, it was so weird. It was so weird. It was so crazy. I'm sitting there like, there's no way. There's no way. But I just kept walking, because again, oh girl, it's cut off. I don't care. You know, it is what it is. So now we are in senior year, right? So by this point, I pretty much am kind of like off of her, but I'm being cordial. If anything, I am being cordial, but she's not my friend anymore, because I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I've had enough. I'm done. Okay. And I guess old girl felt like maybe she wanted her lick back or something like that. Maybe she, I don't know. I don't know. But this was when I fully recognized just how odd her behavior really would get. So there comes a point in time over the summer where I think she had went to like Disneyland or something like that, and she bought all of her friends bracelets, and they essentially were friendship bracelets, and they were all gifts from when she went to Disney. Why did I not get one? And she's talking about,
Oh, yeah, I ran out of money.
oh, okay. Now again, she's cut off, so you know, I ain't really tripping. I'm just kind of curious, because you know, you the one that said you got invited to a party that you wasn't invited to.
And
You feel me? So I just wanted to know, like, oh, since we're friends, like, what's up with that? You feel me? Like, what happened with that? I don't get a bracelet. Shocker. Okay. But not only that, this is when I find out that there's a group chat. How long has this group chat been in existence? I don't know. But let's talk about how our friend Sierra, she ended up not attending that school anymore. I don't know if she dropped out or if she transferred or what. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that she stopped going to that school, right? She's in the group chat. We got another friend. Let's call her Luna. Luna's in the group chat. Everybody is in the group chat but me. All right, see, that's a little odd. That's a little weird because, again, this is where I have a discrepancy with my friends, okay? Why did you notice that I wasn't in the group chat and not one person said we should probably add Tasi to the group chat? You feel me? Like, what's going on with that? Because you damn sure would come to me and tell me the conversations that y'all had in the group chat. You let me know that there was a group chat, but you never added me to the group chat. Okay. Not only that, how long has this group chat been going on? So have we had this group chat since junior year? Because this would be the point where Katrina had transferred over to the honors classes, right? So everybody is familiar with Katrina. How long have we had this group chat with Katrina in it? And even Katrina's asked, why you ain't never say nothing? Noted. Noted. And I have to say, like, senior year was pretty much like the wake-up call, okay? Because now me and Bianca clearly are just on two different paths. We don't really mess with each other, right? There would come a point in time where Katrina and Jessica finally got fed up with Bianca's behavior. They cut Bianca off for a second of time. Now, I started to notice that during this time where Bianca was cut off, we did start to talk a lot. We did start to hang out a lot. Next thing I know, they start messing with Bianca again, and I'm kind of like, okay, that's weird, but again, I ain't got no beef with the girl. I just don't vibe with her no more because I thought she was being odd, she was being weird, and I didn't want anything to do with her. But now it's getting to a point to where we're going places and I'm not being invited. Okay. Again, with the group chat situation, apparently there's a new one. Guess who still is not added? Okay, so then it even comes a point in time where Katrina starts to act as if she's like irritated with me. Like she is just starting to behave as if I'm like getting on her nerves or I'm doing things to disturb her. And every time that we would have like not even a falling out or a tit for tat, can't even say that, but basically she would just express that she's annoyed about something. Guess who's over in the corner giggling? What's that about? It even got to a point to where I found myself pretty much sitting at a table by myself. And I literally watched as Jessica and Katrina were walking over to me. And they had said my name and were walking over to me. And Bianca is the one that stopped them, grabbed them, and told them to come sit at the table that she was at. Now see, me being me, I am not a cliquish type of person, but I am a loyalty type of person. I don't care that y'all are still friends with this girl because, again, when I cut people off, I don't even talk about it. They don't even know that this girl was cut off, okay? They just probably noticed that me and her don't sit with each other or vibe with each other like we used to. But either way it go, right? You free to be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. You can do whatever you want to do. I give you that grace. You feel me? But this girl was able to grab y'all and redirect y'all to not sit with me? I don't care how non-confrontational you are, how much of a non-fighter you are. That is not something that somebody should ever be able to do to your friend. So reminder, because you probably thought, oh, that was a one-off thing, that wasn't important. I knew Katrina before I knew Bianca and before I knew Jessica. I knew Jessica before I knew Bianca. Y'all quite literally just fell out with this little bitch. This is how we moving? This is what we're doing. Why? So it got to a point to where I was cool on them too. Because I'm just like, listen, maybe it is something where like y'all just set up that way. You can't help it, whatever, whoop-de-woo. But I think I'm going to just kick it. But again, it's no beef with nobody. It's just, I think I'm going to just be by myself. Because this is too weird. I don't like it. And I ended up getting a new set of friends, right? I ended up kicking it with a new set of friends. And we was vibing, we was chilling or whatever. And then prom comes. The infamous prom comes, right? So y'all already know the brief story about it, or did I tell it in detail in the prom story? So prom comes, right? And we somehow on prom night all were just like kumbaya. Like my whole graduating class, we were all kumbaya. Nobody was beefing no more. Nobody had issues with anybody no more. Like I don't know if it was because we realized that we were seniors and we were probably never going to see each other again or what. But we were just having a ball. We were having a blast. Me and Jessica, Katrina, and even Bianca, we ended up reconnecting, rekindling, having a vibe on the dance floor. You know, we was cool. We was cool, bro. We was cool. So then it comes a point in time where Jessica had told us that her and her dude, they were planning on getting a hotel room. Now, mind you, the original plan, but I swear, sometimes I wish that I didn't go to the school that I went to. The plan was that everybody was going to have a hotel room, and we were basically just going to have one gigantic hotel party in the hotel. People found out that you had to be a certain age in order to book a hotel. Okay, cool, it is what it is. But people still were finding ways to book hotels, right? But my people, my friends / no friends, whatever, they end up finding a way to book a hotel. And they basically, because Jessica was dating a guy, and he was technically a year older than her. So he was legally an adult, but he was still not like old enough to book the hotel. I think you got to be like, what, 21 or 25 to book the hotel. I'm not sure. But either way it goes. He ended up somehow getting like one of his aunts to book the hotel or something like that. But then something had happened with it. But he went off to go and try to fix it, right? So I get invited to the hotel by Jessica. And I call my ride, which was my aunt. And I told her, okay, you ain't got to come pick me up. Don't wait up. I'm about to go kick it with them. And I called my mom letting her know I'm about to go kick it with them. And then I'm probably going to spend the night. And then I'm going to, like, you know, be with y'all. So I tell Jessica, okay, let me go pee real quick. And then I'll be ready. Because they were already getting ready to go out the door, right? Mind you, it's just me and Jessica that had this conversation. So I go pee. Do my business. I come out. Jessica's not in the ballroom. I just left the bathroom, so I know Jessica's not in the bathroom. I go down to the bottom of the steps. I still don't see Jessica. And I'm sitting there like, okay, where'd they go? So I ask, you know, our fellow classmates, like, hey, did you see Jessica go anywhere? They tell me that Jessica, Katrina, and Bianca left. They all left with each other out the door. So then I had to borrow somebody's phone so that I could call my peoples to come and get me again. I wait for my ride to pull up, and as my ride pulls up and I'm going out to the car, I see out of my peripheral Jessica's dress. Now, Jessica wanted to look like a princess for prom, which I'm not mad at, okay? So she had a gigantic poofy blue dress. And I literally seen it bounce in my peripheral. And I stopped. And I turned. Why are these bitches ducked off in an alley?
You're crazy, actually. You actually are insane to do that. It is very odd behavior, and that is very weird. Like, I'm telling you, I swear, it is very weird. I'm just letting you know, okay? In case you weren't sure. Anyway.
So I go up to them because from the looks of it, it looks as if they're trying to hide. Let's be real. It looks like they're trying to hide. So I go up to them. And I said, hey, what's going on? Jessica is the only one that's talking for whatever reason. Bianca is like looking at the piss covered wall with the trash cans, and she's not saying anything. Katrina's looking down at her feet, and she's not saying anything. So Jessica is saying like she doesn't know what's going on. I said, so are you guys still getting the hotel? She says,
I don't know.
Is your boyfriend on his way to come and get y'all?
I don't know. We don't know yet.
That'll do. That'll do. I peeped the scene. I peeped the vibes. Y'all are literally in gorgeous ball gowns, standing in a pissy alleyway. Thank you. Thank you. I will be on my way. And that's exactly what I did. Was I went home. I went home and I called it a day. And all I can really say is that we graduated. We graduated. I wasn't too mad at Jessica, but after some time of really thinking it over, that's when I decided that I probably don't want to associate with Jessica anymore either. But Katrina definitely X'd out. 100% she was X'd out in that moment because I'm like, okay. Eventually I would X out Jessica once I come to this conclusion. But what really solidified it, because I pretty much just respected that we just wasn't friends no more. You know, like I took that for what it was, but there was a part of me where I still cared about these girls. We still have a big history together, you know. So I still had them on like Snapchat and stuff of that nature, right? So fun fact, Bianca and Katrina worked at the same job location. And Bianca and Katrina both knew who my cousin was because my cousin was working there at the time. On a random day, my cousin decides to come up to me and talk to me and ask me if I know those two. I said, oh yeah. So then he asked me, okay, how do you know them? And I was like, oh, well, they my friends. Like, I just said it as an impulse because, you know, by this point I know, like, we don't really mess with each other, we don't really talk to each other. But he asked me how I know them, and I just instinctively said, those are my friends. He looks at me and he says,
No, they're not.
and I'm like, what do you mean? Eventually, somehow, we end up talking about prom night and how that situation went down. And what he told me was that they basically admitted to him, which I don't know why they admitted to him, like, that's not my cousin, like, he wouldn't tell me what happened. But they admitted to him, Katrina and Bianca, they admitted to him that they intentionally left me behind because they felt like I couldn't hang. And Bianca specifically tells him that,
oh, well, you know, we were never really friends for real. We were just classmates.
Loser!
the only thing that I can tell you is that I definitely posted some shady shit on Snapchat. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember. I know I didn't crash out. Don't do that. But I definitely put some shady shit on there. Probably said some things. I removed Katrina. I kept Jessica because, again, I was still in that headspace of like, oh, Jessica didn't do anything wrong. But she was compliant to a degree, you know. But I removed Katrina. And I just carried on with the rest of my life. I had no choice. I had to. I carried on with the rest of my life because that's so fake. You know, like, that is so fake, especially to do this over somebody that you didn't even know a year ago. You've known me for a while. You feel me? Don't do that. You know, just don't do that. So, yeah, long story short, that's why I don't talk to my friends from high school anymore. This is why we stopped talking and we diverged paths, because there is no way that you watched me essentially be ostracized and bullied and not one of you stood up for me. Not one of y'all stood up. Not one of y'all said anything. Now, again, Katrina didn't come in until way later, but still, even with you had your fair share. I wholeheartedly believe that she became irritated with me because she's following after what Bianca was doing. You know, like, I just will forever be hurt by that. I don't like the way that it is. You know, I'm disgusted. Like, I hate it. I hate to be that dramatic, but for real, like, that is the reason why, like, we just don't talk. I made myself scarce. I distanced myself from people. And I will say that there have been attempts to reach out to me, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was being an a-hole. I was, because I hate when people just think, okay, time has passed, let me just come in with a smile on my face and we're gonna be friends again. Like, no, let's have a discussion. If you're not willing to discuss it, I don't have anything to discuss with you. But let me be honest. In a way, I would be open to have that discussion with Jessica. I would be open to having that discussion with Katrina, because I feel like Katrina, you know, she was young. She maybe made a mistake, but I'm not going to lie. I would definitely have my eye out for her because I don't fully trust you like how I used to. But with Bianca, that will never be a thing ever again. And my thing is that, to a degree, of course, it's me being bitter and it's me being hurt because you dated my ex that I was madly in love with. And I will always hold that pain in my heart that you did that to me, that y'all as a collective did that to me, you know? But with her, it's not even about him. You just not a good friend. And in your words, we were never friends. So, you know, I don't really have to be nice to you or be sympathetic to you in your situation and XYZ. Like, I really don't have to do anything. So I feel like that alone, yeah, she can't come back in my life. You know, it's water under the bridge to an extent, but don't expect to be close to me. Don't expect for us to be cool, cordial, chilling. Like, it's never gonna be none of that, okay? And still to this day, I still can't read the girl. Like, I can't tell what that was. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I had said in the story time about Tyler, I feel like they low-key was dealing with each other the whole entire time. Or it was a situation where this girl intentionally became my friend so that she could get with him. I don't know. Weirdo shit. Everything that followed after that, I can't explain it. I've had someone explain their theory to me, but, you know, even then, I don't see it as fully being the truth. I don't know. I could still very much be delusional. I don't know. But I don't like it. So I'm going to explain exactly what the theory was. Keep in mind that this is just a theory. This is just like somebody basically had a thought process and they talked about it, okay? So this was something that was brought to my attention the first time that we fell out. But I didn't really pay it attention because, again, I was young, I was dumb, I just wasn't paying attention to nothing. So the theory was that basically Bianca is one of those types of people where she has a complex about herself, or she has like a certain level of insecurity to where it low-key had nothing to do with the fact that I, you know, like I was dating someone that she had a crush on, or that I was even, you know, like it really didn't have anything to do with me. It was basically a situation where in her head, I have a specific storyline. I have a specific narrative that I'm supposed to follow. And I have this, I guess, personality trait where this is desirable, but this isn't. Basically, it's almost like I'm trying to phrase it in a way where it makes sense, but basically it's a situation where, let's pretend like this is like a storybook, or this is like a TV show, and all the characters have their roles to play. So Jessica, she's playing her role, Katrina is playing her role, and of course Bianca is playing her role. Apparently I wasn't playing my role, because my role was to be the lame ass, loser ass friend that you just hang out with, and that you pretty much are the one that introduces her to X, Y, and Z. I was never that person. As we've established, I'm pretty sure, I feel like I sound like a broken record because I feel like we've had these conversations before. But again, this is basically what it was, where like in her brain, I'm supposed to be a loser. I'm not supposed to be desirable. I'm not supposed to be the person that gets a lot of attention because I was the quiet one. And because of, you know, the things that I talked to y'all about how, like, you know, my mom was controlling a lot of aspects of my life to where I didn't really live my life like a normal teenager. I didn't really live my life like a normal kid of the 2010s. Like, it was a lot of setbacks that I had. So it wasn't even necessarily that I was even like, you know, like fat or ugly or anything, but it was just the simple fact of the matter that like I am not the typical average girl, basically. And the thing about me not being the typical average girl is that I'm not supposed to be getting attention. I'm not supposed to have friends. I'm not supposed to have people that pay attention to me. I'm not supposed to be anything, you know, like I'm really supposed to just be this person that you take pity on and you help them, right? So there's a likely chance that even with Tyler, she probably never even wanted Tyler. What she wanted was for me to learn my place, because in her brain, a dude like Tyler is not supposed to be attracted to me. He's supposed to be attracted to girls like her. And it was the same thing with the other situations where I would say like, oh, so-and-so is cute, or I had a crush on somebody, and she would then feel the need to, you know, step in and try to like push her way in, whether it was being friends, whether it was being flirty, whether it was anything. She felt like she had to do that, even while she's in relationships, even while she's talking to other people, even while she's doing all of this and doing all of that. She feels as though I do not deserve to have the attention that I have half of the time. And it's the same thing even with our friends. I'm not supposed to be close with them, apparently. We're not supposed to be close. We're not supposed to be cordial. We're not supposed to be friends. I'm just supposed to, like, be the comic relief, and that's it. That's it. And it also ties in with the guy from Tumblr, too, because the part that I forgot to tell y'all, which I cannot believe that I forgot to tell y'all this, I heard through the grapevine that this girl was telling people that I was talking to a catfish. And listen, it's the internet. It's a very big possibility that anybody could be talking to a catfish. But believe me when I say the man is not a catfish. That was not a catfish. That was the actual, real, living, breathing human being. Again, I'm the only reason why I'm not giving specifics is because he is giving the impression that he does not want to be famous anymore. And there was some legal situations that are happening to where I don't know if I should call it out, specify it or whatever, because maybe he might still be in trouble. Maybe, you know, like he don't want to talk about it. I don't know. And again, if you were on Tumblr, then you could probably put the pieces together and know exactly who I'm talking about, especially if you still have him on Snapchat, because he's still active on Snapchat, right? So he's not a catfish. He's not a catfish. He's never been a catfish. But in her brain, he has to be a catfish, because why would he hold a conversation with a girl like me, but not hold a conversation with a girl like her? Now, like I said, Tumblr was more of a community situation. It was more of a you know, like just an exclusive, fake exclusive club or whatever. So it wasn't even the fact that it was like he's picking and choosing. It's the fact that, your words, you made a Tumblr so that you could specifically talk to him. So the Tumblr, the page, the blog in question, completely blank. It's completely blank. The first thing you do is message somebody. And I just told y'all he's in a legal situation, so I didn't know he was in a legal situation back then. He could have thought you was the feds. He could have thought you was the feds, or he could have thought you was one of them bots. And you over here telling him, oh, do you know Tasi? Somebody that he knows. Yeah, like nobody's gonna respond to that, because that looks weird. That just looked very iffy. But it baffled me that like that was the resort, was that he was a catfish because he didn't respond to you. I would understand if you said, oh, well, I asked him if he knew you. He said no, so I think he's a catfish. Or, oh, well, I investigated the page and he doesn't look like he's the real deal, or he's the real person, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. But no, you literally, allegedly, you literally were telling people that I was talking to a catfish because he didn't respond to your message? That's some hater shit. Like, I can't even lie, that's some hater shit. And see, the thing about this theory, which is why, like, to a degree, it makes sense, but I still don't 100% believe it, is because there's really nothing wrong with Bianca besides her personality, clearly. But Bianca's not ugly. I'm not no hater. Bianca has never been an ugly girl, and she's actually been like the stereotype, because mind you, we talking about the 2010s, right? So she was the stereotype of what every man wanted. Like, she was a very half shy, half confident, outgoing type of girl. She had a nice little booty. She was like, you know, not completely short, but she was like a decent little size. She was light skinned. The first time she ever wore hair weave in her life was when we went to prom. She never really wore makeup. She was all natural. She was not like other girls, because I ain't gonna lie, she low-key had pick-me tendencies. I'm not gonna hold you. And she legit got attention from men. Like, she could have any man that she wants, and she low-key did. So it's like, in my brain, I understand that it's not always the looks, but I just can't fathom a bitch being that insecure when you already got your shit together. I just can't fathom that would be the breaking point for you. It's hard for me to really understand that and wrap my head around it, because it's like, how bad is your life to where that's what you do? And again, y'all, because we already told the story, I would cut you off, which means you got the man, you got the friends, I know my place, you ain't got to worry about me no more. Why do you keep coming around? So that's what I'm saying. That's why it's like, to a degree, I see what that person was saying, but in the same breath, it's like, it's still so many gaps that just, it don't add up to me, and it still don't make sense to me. And to this day, it still does not make sense. So yeah, like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't think I will ever understand it. But honestly, I'm done with the situation to where I don't care to understand it, because that's a demon she got to fight by herself. I ain't got nothing to do with that. My life is good. I wish you nothing but the best, girl. Prayers up. That's all I can say. So with her, it's an absolute no. For Katrina, it's a maybe. For Jessica, I'd be open to it. But honestly, as a collective, as a whole, I do not see the point in even reopening those relationships. Like, I genuinely do not see the point in even trying to reconnect, because I feel like people shown me who they were the first time. I really do. I feel like I was shown who people were the first time, so I'm good, you know? And I know y'all are probably thinking like, oh, but you gave Tyler all those chances and you sat there and did this. Why don't you hold your friends like that either? This is the thing, though. This is the thing. Technically, I did give Bianca the same chances as Tyler. I gave her more, actually. It just wasn't within the same time span. See, with Tyler, our situation was stretched out, you know? That was different. This, though? Girl, you done got more than one chance and you still fucked up. Still. And I purposely told the story of Tyler first before I told the story of Bianca / our friends or whatever, because I knew somebody was gonna try that. Like, y'all be more mad at the friend than the man. Nope. Tried it. Nope. Can't do it over here. But, yeah, y'all. That is the story as to why me and my friends from high school are no longer friends. That is the story of how Bianca decided to date my ex after we broke up. Such a good friend. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like this video. I'm afraid of what y'all are gonna comment. I really am, because last time y'all were not nice. Not to me though. So I guess that's all that matters. But yeah, like honey, I've wiped my hands clean of the situation. I'm good. Okay, I'm good. Y'all ain't got to defend me. Y'all ain't got to say nothing. But yeah, comment down below how you feel, I guess. I guess. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And of course, share if you can. So with that being said, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Back up on my bullshit, back up on the scene. Done dealing with